My opponent in this game of Tash-Kalar is my little sister Suzanne. Suzanne lives in Canada, so we'll be playing online using BoardGameArena.com. Suzanne and I play this game together a lot. She's actually a very, very good player. Last time I checked, she was ranked very highly on the website, making her one of the best players in the world. She always beats me, and it's never even close. This is Suzanne. Now, even though I know that that is not a recent picture, in my head that's what she looks like. So I don't like losing to her. I do not like losing to my baby sister. But she's so good, so what can I do? I could just say, I'm never going to play this game again. It's a stupid game. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is get good at it. I'm going to practice. I'm going to play against myself. I'm going to learn the cards. I'm going to practice online. I'm going to read strategy guides. And I'm going to make her play a version of the game that she's weakest at. So I'm going to play the Highland faction, which she doesn't know very well, and she's going to play the Sylvan faction, which she says she doesn't know at all. Although neither do I, to be honest, but that's not the point. Also, we're going to make her play the High form, which is her weakest version of the game. If ever I'm going to win a game of Tash-Kalar against my little sister, this is the one. Come on! In case you haven't played before, here's a quick summary of the main rules. Each turn you can take 2 actions. An action can be one of 3 things. The first is placing a stone, playing a piece. The second is summoning a being, playing a card. The third, which isn't done as often, is discarding a card and drawing a new one instead. Now the object of the game is to score points by completing the tasks that are described on the cards. So for example, you can score 3 points for having pieces on the diagonal of the board in a certain way. The game ends when somebody scores 9 points. The interesting part of the game is the cards, summoning beings. Each card has got a pattern on it, and you have to get your pieces in that pattern. It doesn't have to be exactly the pattern on the card. You can rotate it. You can even do a mirror image if you need to. And as soon as you've got the pattern, then you play another piece on the square marked. If the being is summoned on top of another piece, it can destroy it, unless the original piece is a higher rank than the one that's being summoned. Some of the cards have powerful bonus actions too, such as combat moves or combat leaps. There are also legendary beings too, which are harder to cast but have more powerful effects. And there's a catch-up mechanic called flares, which I'll tell you about when we come to them. Okay, so here we go. The tasks available are Heroic Destruction, Green Conquest, and Coloured Summoning. And the one that's coming up after that is Green Summoning. In my hand I've got Clan Axeman, Ritual Keeper, and Direwolf. And the 2 legends that I've got are the Angel of Death and the Earth Elemental. Neither of which are great, to be honest. So, I'm going to start by playing in the corner of the central 9 squares. Player 1 only gets 1 move, 1 action. The other player gets 2. So I'm hoping that Suzanne's going to go in the middle so that I can play Clan Axeman. And of course she doesn't do that. She plays somewhere else. So I'm guessing that she's done that because she's got a card that she wants to use, but there's nothing I can do to stop it. So I'm just going to play my next move. I'm going to position some pieces so that I can play my direwolf on the next turn. And she just plays 4 in a row and upgrades one there on a green square. That is a bit of a worry. It's okay though, because I've got a plan. I'm going to summon the direwolf on the central red square. Then I'm going to move it out of the way using its special ability. And then I'm going to summon the ritual keeper on the same square. And this means I've summoned 2 beings on the red squares, which means I can claim the coloured summoning task for 2 points, putting me in the lead. So I've drawn 2 new cards now. I've drawn War Summoner and Blood Shaman. And Green Summoning is now active. Isolation is coming up soon. So Suzanne plays some more pieces and gets another upgraded piece on the green square there by playing the Sylvan Princess. She's still got no points, but she's getting quite close to Green Conquest now. I need to stop her getting that Green Conquest, so I play the War Summoner and use that to get an extra action, which I use to play the Blood Shaman. Shaman? Is it Shaman or Shaman? Which I use to play the Blood Shaman and destroy one of her green upgraded pieces. So that should slow it down a little bit. And I get 2 new cards. I get the Clan Healer and the Eagle Lord. So what's Suzanne going to do now? She plays a charging buck, and she's moved it over to the left-hand side of the board. It doesn't immediately seem to achieve anything. I assume she's done it for a pattern for the next card, which is she plays a Forest Warden. Oh, I see. She's summoned on a piece on a green square, so she's got the green summoning. So she's got a point. I've started to realise now I made a mistake putting my pieces in the bottom half of the board. She's put hers in the top half of the board where all the green squares are. There's more green squares up there. Seems obvious now. Okay, I've got a lot of options here. My first thought is to try to isolate that one on the left-hand side there. Go for the isolation task. But it's very difficult to do that. You really need to place 4 pieces there, and I don't think I can do that in one turn. So what I'm going to do is to use the Clan Healer to casually put 1 piece there, which I'm hoping she won't notice, then summon the Eagle Lord to remove one of her heroic pieces, which I'm hoping will mess up her plans. And then maybe next turn I'll be able to isolate that one on the left, or if not, maybe I'll be able to get the Green Conquest card task. Okay, so my new cards are Wolf Rider and Clan Guardian. I think I'm winning now. She has not followed the strategy tips at all, probably because she hasn't read them. And her Sylvan pieces are spread out in a line, which is all wrong. According to the strategy guide, she's supposed to be getting them all in one big cluster near to my pieces because the Sylvan faction has a limited range. And also she's given up on the central area as well, which is great for me. She's doing it all wrong. I'm definitely going to win this. Oh dear. I've given her a flare. I'm only 2 heroic pieces ahead. How did that happen? This is exactly what it said not to do in the strategy guide. So the flare lets her play Tree Shepherd and Unicorn. And she destroys my heroic piece, and now she's on the verge of getting Green Conquest again. I really have to stop her getting Green Conquest, so I'm going to play Wolf Rider to take the other green square. Then I'm going to play on another green square, which next turn I should be able to upgrade using Clan Guardian. And hopefully I'll be able to get the green summoning instead of her. Unless she does something pretty drastic. Oh, and I've drawn a Hungry Bear. That's good. That means if she does do something drastic, I've got a plan B now, because I should be able to get the Hungry Bear onto that green square towards the bottom right if everything else goes wrong. I don't think she's going to be able to stop me from getting the Green Conquest. So I'm feeling pretty good again. What's she going to do? She is Centaur Spearman. Centaur Chieftain. What does that do? No! No! No, you can't do that! Okay, just to sum up, she's destroyed 3 of my pieces, messed up my pattern, claimed heroic destruction for herself, and gone into the lead. Okay, despite that, I can still score some points this turn. I could go for the Central Dominance task. Central Dominance, I need 2 upgraded pieces in the middle 9 squares and 5 in total. It said in the strategy guide, controlling the middle is very important. So if I get that, it'll set me up well for future tasks. I noticed that the line dominance is coming up next. So I think even though it's only 1 point, strategically, Central Dominance is the one to go for. So that's what I'm going to do. One side chain is coming up after that as well. So that's worked out very well for me, because that's another one that fits in well with the dominating the central 9 squares. I'm feeling good again. So she plays Kiskin Spirit? What's that? Oh, she's got the Green Conquest. Okay, well, yes, we knew she's going to do that, didn't we? Okay, me again. Okay, so this is a little bit awkward. I could get line dominance this turn, but if I do that, Color Conquest will become available for her to take, and that's a 3-pointer. She'll be able to get that straight away because she's already got 3 green upgraded ones. I have to stop her getting that while also setting up line dominance for me for next turn and sidechain for the turn after. It's all getting quite tactical. I also have my eye on her piece at the top of the board there. If I can get rid of the one next to it, maybe I can isolate it and go for the isolation task. I've got a lot of options. I'm going to summon a legend. I'm going to summon the Angel of Death. And I'm going to take out her upgraded green piece there on the left. I have to do that because she's going to get the coloured summoning if I don't. I have to slow that down. And I've been very lucky. The legend that I've drawn to replace the Angel of Death is the Titan, and I have already set up the pattern for that. It's there in the middle of the board, which means I can play that next turn. And it even fits in with what I was planning on doing anyway, which is going all the way to the top there to do the side chain. I'm feeling good again. And she plays a Storm Elemental. Oh dear. Oh dear. How does she know what I'm planning on doing? Has she got some sort of upgraded membership that means that she can see my cards or something? Every time she does exactly the thing necessary to mess up my plans, and she doesn't know. Does she? Does she know? She does know. Somehow she knows. Someone in my family is telling her. Is this room bugged?
In high form, each turn I'm going to look at the board before I start, and first of all I'm going to look and see, can I do a flare? If I can do a flare, then do it, because you don't get any penalty in high form for doing a flare. And then I'm going to look at what can I play, which of my cards are playable in one move or two moves. If a card can't be played in one or two moves, I can eliminate it from my brain space and not think about it. And also, I'm going to look at what tasks are possible. If I can see fairly early on that it's impossible for me to complete one or more of the tasks, then I'm going to eliminate those from my brain space as well. And that's going to leave me with looking at what options I can actually play. My priority is to get points. So I'm going to look at the tasks, and if it looks like I can do more than one task, I'm going to go for the one that's going to give me the most points. I'm going to think about whether it's going to significantly advantage my opponent to choose that one. If it leaves something wide open for them and I have alternatives, then I'll take that into account. But I don't really spend too much time thinking about what my opponent's doing. If I can get points without significantly advantaging my opponent, I'm going to do it. If I can't complete a task, I can look and see whether or not I can summon a legendary figure, because that's going to give me 1 point. And if I really can't complete any tasks or summon a legendary, then I look at whether or not I can do something to stop my opponent completing one of the tasks. If I really can't even do that, as a last resort, I may look into sort of setting up for my next turn, lining up pieces so that maybe in my next turn I might be able to do something useful. But really that's low priority, because the chances of whatever you do still being there in the next turn is fairly low. So really, unlike chess, I don't really think ahead too much in this game. I'm looking mostly at what I can do this turn to maximise my position, and not worry too much about what's going to happen in the next turn.
So I'm actually now in danger of not getting the line dominance or the side chain. She's in danger. She could potentially steal that from me after all the work I put into getting them. I'm going to have to, even though it's not the best move for me to make, I'm going to have to claim the line dominance now by playing the move I didn't want to play. I'm going to play the Wild Eagle and do a combat leap onto that piece at the top of the board, which I didn't want to do, but I'm going to have to. It's a shame, because I was hoping to isolate that piece. But if I don't do it now, I think she's going to steal sidechain. Okay, so I've got 6 pieces now on one line, and I can claim the line dominance, and I'm very close now to getting the sidechain, but not as close as I want to be. I need 2 more pieces to claim the sidechain. I've drawn the Ritual Master, and that I like that card. That is one of my favourite cards. It gives me an extra 2 moves, which I can use to surprise her. So, okay, yeah, that's good. That's good news. Maybe things are looking up again. What's she going to do? She's going to play... What's that? Okay, so she's playing some piece of Forest Ancient. What does that do? That oh well, that doesn't seem fair. So she can place my pieces and then just claim the isolation task. So basically, that Forest Ancient card just gives you the isolation task. I didn't know that was that. I didn't know that card existed. It's my own fault for not reading up on Sylvan cards first. Oh, she's just, yeah. There we go. Yeah. Isolation. 2 points. Well played. Okay, so I'm on 6 points and she's on 8 points. She's on the verge of getting the colour conquest task, which will be enough. 3 points be enough to end the game and win the game, presumably. So I've only got 1, 2, maybe 3 turns left, and my cards aren't great. I think I need. My only hope is to play the Ritual Master on a green square to get 2 more actions. That'll surprise her, hopefully. She won't be expecting that. Could be enough for me to get the side chain, which means I could sneak a win, maybe. So I'm going to use up the Clan Axeman. Maybe I'll pick up a better card next turn. So what am I going to get? I get the Legend Slayer. Nah, that's not so good. Still, as long as she doesn't spoil my plan to get the Ritual Master, I think I might still have a tiny chance. So she, of course, plays a Fire Dragon, destroys all my pieces and spoils my plan to play the Ritual Master. And, well, okay. Well played. I've had it now. I studied the board for a long time trying to see a way of scoring some points, lots of points on my last turn. So I can summon a legend on a red square and score 3 points for the red legends action and 1 point for the action, which does technically take me into the lead, but she can very, very easily get the color conquest. So I'm going to do that just for fun. And maybe she won't spot the easiest 3 points ever in the history of Tash-Kalar. Stupid game.